I've always been rich, but I'm not just rich because of money. You have to understand, I'm rich because of a bunch of things that money cannot buy. Like, I know there's people with lots of money, but they don't have the network I have. They don't have the brotherhood I have. Just sitting with my boys, knowing that if the bullets start flying, me and my 10 friends, we all die, or no one dies. Having that brotherhood, having women who would literally, you could go to jail for 10 years and they would wait for you. They exist for you and only you, completely and utterly. You are their entire universe. Like having physicality, walking through the world bigger and stronger than everyone else, having all those professional fights, and all the bad things, having the trauma, all the pain, all the bullshit I've been through. You ain't a good man if you haven't had trauma. A man without trauma is a weakling.
Andrew, I've been stabbed with a knife before.
Congratulate. Good. Finally, something admirable. Show me.
I got 8 stitches. It was in my sleep.
Good. See, now that's what I like to hear. So that's what I love to hear, because as a man, you need things that almost kill you and don't kill you.
Yeah. There's a really long answer to give there, but truthfully, it doesn't matter if it's getting a girl or it's making money or it's getting status. It doesn't matter what it is. As a man, we live in hyper-competitive environments. I don't think enough men understand how competitive the world is. If you want a girl, you're competing against other men. You're not the only man who had the idea of getting that girl. There's no girl you're going to see and go, oh, I'll get that girl, and didn't cross anyone else's mind. Everybody else wants her. You have to outcompete other men. You have to be as competitive as possible. You have to be as successful as possible in all realms. You have to be as good-looking, as funny, as smart, as spontaneous, as interesting, as charismatic, as rich as possible. You need to try very hard to be your absolute best. And as you become a better man, you'll crack through different tiers of attractiveness, and eventually you get to the top and you'll be able to have any girl you want. But the truth is, I have a lot of guys ask me, similar to your question, a guy will come to me and go, how do I get a girl? I'm like, bro, you're a loser. Yeah, but I know, but how do I get a girl? Well, you're a fucking loser. You're a loser. Why are you asking me? It's like saying, how do I win a race with a push bike? You're racing Ferraris. What do you want me to do? Yeah. There's only so much you can do. There's only so hard you can pedal. There's only so many tricks and tips. There's only so many game things you can say, so many pickup lines. If you're a loser, it's going to be very, very difficult, and it's going to get harder and harder. The game is rigged to become harder and harder for men. It's not getting easier. It's going the other way. And if you're going to be on a racetrack and there's going to be Ferraris there, and you're going to be on a pedal bike or in a Nissan, you're going to get smoked. That's the game. You have to up yourself. You have to improve yourself. I'm not going to lie to anybody here and say you don't have to improve yourself. You can stay a loser and get chicks, because you can't.
So I'm rich not because of money. I'm rich because I've been through a whole bunch of shit. Like, I don't see anyone else on the planet richer than me, because they're either too old or their life's been too easy. Like, I've had a very, very unique life, very, very eclectic life. I was born with the best possible start a man can have, which is good parents and no money. I've made all of my money completely myself the hard way. None of this fucking internet, Twitch, easy shit. I've done it hard.
Well, would you say, like, so, like, you don't think any, like, social media people like Logan Paul, KSI, like you don't think like any like the top dogs, like they've worked hard to be where they're at?
They've worked hard, but it's not a coal mine, is it? Fucking YouTube videos. But I mean, I actually have respect for the Paul brothers, because they fight now. They don't have to fight.
Right, they don't have to. Yeah, exactly.
They don't have to. And they're doing it anyway. They're making life hard for themselves. I have to respect men who decide to do that, because they could just take their money and just be fucking jackasses, and instead they're fighting. So I respect them for that. I'm not saying that everyone can do it. I know it's competitive, etc., but it's not a coal mine.
What women want from men? Well, the first thing we have to understand is that it depends, right? Of course it depends. It depends on how old the woman is, what part of her life she's in, if she's looking for excitement and adventure, or she's looking for a family and to settle down. It completely depends. But in general, if a woman is going to dedicate herself to a man, then that man has to be all-encompassing. He has to be a man who can fix most of her problems. He needs to provide stability and safety, which everybody knows, but not many people consider that he also has to provide drama for her. He also has to be entertaining for her. If a woman only talks to you and you're the only man in her life, and there's never any drama, or there's never any, I wouldn't say conflict, I'm not saying necessarily start an argument, but if there's never any drama, because drama is excitement, then they're going to naturally try and find drama somewhere else, and that always ends very badly for the man. You don't want them to try and find drama outside of the relationship. Women sit there and watch the Kardashians all day. They're addicted to drama. It's what they care about. Yeah. So if you're a woman's entire world, you also have to be the person who can, you have to shock her a bit. You have to be the person who can upset her. You need to be entertaining, all-encompassing from head to toe. Women want to be with a man which keeps them entertained, and a man which they trust, trust, and a man which they believe can fix all of their problems. This is another important thing. If a woman comes to you with an issue and you can't fix it, you'll see very quickly how soon they lose attraction.
Would you ever date a Kardashian?
Me personally, no, I don't think I would.
What's your celebrity crush?
Do I have a celebrity crush?
Come on, I'm sure you do.
I saw a video of Dua Lipa a long time ago, and she was in Albania doing an Albanian traditional dance. And I thought, she can give me strong Albanian half sons, maybe her. But I think she's some feminist or some crap. So if I were to talk to her for more than 2 minutes, I'd walk out, I'm sure.
All right, that's good. At least we got
That's the answer.
All right, now what's your thoughts on abortion?
I think it's haram.
All right, that's it.
Done. If somebody cannot project their ideas to me succinctly, I instantly just dislike them, because maybe I have ADHD, maybe I'm too busy, I don't know what it is, but I don't have time for your ums and ahs. I don't have time for it. So if I'm sitting in a meeting and somebody goes, we're gonna start with, and this is how people speak. You're a full-grown man, and you can't finish a sentence without saying or ah in the only language you know. You've been speaking it for 14 years. It bothers me. It's a pet peeve of mine. It irks me. Occasionally, we make mistakes. Fine, whatever. But if you actually listened to most people speak, that's how most people communicate with the world. You wonder why you can't convince a girl to sleep with you? You're nice. Dummy. You're a dummy. No wonder you can't make any money. You're an idiot. This is people. They're on their way through life. It bothers me when people come to pitch me. If they say or ah too much in the first sentence, it's over. Sorry, sir. When you learn to talk English, when you learn to speak, I might give you another chance. Goodbye. So you're right. The ability to project the thoughts inside of your mind in a way that other people can digest and is also entertaining is massively a superpower. How do you develop that superpower? It's not through practice. People think it's practice. Practice doesn't make perfect. Because
you can practice a really bad habit and get really good at a really shit thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. The person who ums and ahs at 48 has been practicing his whole life. He's practiced just fine.
He's great at that.
He's great. Feedback is what's important. You have to analyze. I'll give you an example. When I was playing chess as a kid, I would play chess for 2 hours a day training under my father. 1 hour would be play, 1 hour would be going back through the games and analyzing the games. I always enjoyed playing, but I hated analyzing. But it was the analysis that made me better. And I can prove that now, because when I was 8 or 9, I think my rating was around 1500. Now, I've been playing Blitz. I play 3-minute chess online. For 20 years, ever since I was a child, and my rating is 1700. I've gotten no better in 20 years because I don't watch my games back, I don't analyze them, I don't look where I made mistakes, I just play. That's the problem. So when people speak, they just speak. They don't watch themselves back. I'm going to watch this podcast 10 times. And I'm going to identify every single time I stuttered or made a mistake or didn't use the word I should have used. And then people are going to ask me, how do I speak the way I speak? Why do my podcasts get the most views? Because I'm a professional. And if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it properly. That's why. Most people will do a podcast and they'll just sit there and they'll just talk shit and then they'll finish it and they'll go on with their brokey day and be a brokey. But it's very interesting what you said about speech, because that also ties back to my current predicament. This is the first time in my adult life I can't use my superpower. Because my superpower is talking. If you were to put me in front of someone and give me an hour to convince them that I could rip out their throat with my little finger, I guarantee by the end they'd be afraid. We both know I probably could. By the end, part of them would think, he's confident. I can't talk in court because I don't speak English. It's very weird for me. I became acutely aware of my superpower because I'm going through this process and my lawyer's talking blah, blah. And I'm like, why am I so frustrated by all of this? And one day it dawned on me, I don't get to talk. When I get to talk, this is how much of a superpower speaking is. When I get to talk, it's fine. I could have talked the ocean out of freezing me to death on the Titanic. I could have literally said, listen, bro, my unmatched perspicacity, well, I could have ran my mouth, and I would have, it would have warmed up for me. I'm that guy. I can't talk now. So it's very frustrating. So it's interesting you say how it's a superpower. It certainly is, because I've even realized it in this current predicament. I mean, how important it is to be able to speak.
When you've lost it, because you've lost it, like if you lost your hands. Yeah.
That's right, exactly, because I've lost it. And the fact there are people going through the world today who want to be successful and want to have all these amazing things, and they only speak English, and they communicate in English, and they try and get other people to understand their ideas in English, and they can't speak English, or to lose.